try again? We ready? Okay. Well, let's get on with the numbers. In the last year, we've had very strong general fund revenue growth. We're looking at finishing this fiscal year at over $169 million in revenue, and next year approaching $186 million in projected revenue. I'd like to compare that back not just to 2 years ago at the height of COVID, but compare it to 10 years ago when we were in the midst of the recession. And we finished 2011 with just under $70 million in total revenue. And what did the City Council do? They invested in our city. They made matching funds with numerous businesses. We had TOT rebates that came in, and our downtown was revitalized. Measure J was passed by our voters. We are now today receiving the rewards of the investment that was made 10 years ago. Property tax revenue should be consistent. It has been, and it's consistently growing. Palm Springs, now you pay a premium to get into Palm Springs. Our TOT revenue has grown tremendously over the last many years. We're now looking at finishing this year with over $45 million and approaching $50 million in transit occupancy tax in the next fiscal year. Most of that comes from our hotels, which are now up at over $28 million in TOT taxes. Our hotels are doing very, very well. But the other part of the TOT story is vacation rentals. And what we have seen is, in particular during COVID, families have chosen to stay in vacation rentals in an increasing numbers, and we are also seeing they're choosing to stay in a city that they believe to be safe, such as Palm Springs. Our sales taxes have jumped tremendously. We're looking at finishing this year with over $30 million in sales tax. Our stores are prospering. When you go back 10 years, this number would have been $8 million. That's an incredible increase, and the credit goes to the entrepreneurs and business people in our community who are making a difference. I don't know what else COVID has been good for, but it seems it has been very good for cannabis. I'm not sure Dr. Falsey approves, but evidently many individuals are finding that cannabis is a very good alternative care. That joke work?
Yes, it's very funny.
Okay. So let's talk seriously about COVID, our response and our recovery. We've seen over the course of the last 2 years that we've had 2 tremendous spikes, both occurring in the winter months. This is a chart that shows weekly numbers of new COVID cases. Over the course of the 2 years, we've had over 7,800 COVID positive tests here in the city of Palm Springs. At one point, we had a high of 572 new cases a week. That has started to level off. But one of the things we know from watching COVID over time is it is adapting and mutating, and what we hope is a corner that we have turned. We know that frequently we've only turned a corner into more infections as this mutates. What has been true, though, is most tragically, we lost 156 people, 156 of our neighbors, to COVID during the course of the last 2 years. But nearly 125 of those deaths occurred in the first year. We've only lost 31 people, way too many in the last year. But as vaccinations have become available, our residents have been going out and getting vaccinated, getting their booster shots, and we are seeing a difference in our mortality rates. So here are some places that you can go out and get your vaccination. I want to thank everyone who is listed on this list for standing up for the city of Palm Springs, standing up for the residents, and making it easy for us to get vaccinated. It makes a difference. Let's move on to public safety. Our fire department is a group of men and women we are incredibly proud of, and they have a tremendous amount of work that they do. In the last year, we had almost 15,000 responses by our fire department to 911 calls. That works out to be the equivalent of 1.7 calls every hour of every day of the entire year. Almost 9,000 of those calls were for medical aid. Another 1,750 calls to respond to fires, 368 traffic collisions. In 1 year, we've increased the number of calls coming into our fire department by almost 19%. We are still sitting at 5 minutes and 9 seconds on average response time. We're trying to bring that down because every moment makes a difference in saving somebody's life. We purchased $6.3 million in new equipment and hired 5 new firefighters in the course of the last year. We are committed to making sure our fire department has the best resources available. And we also hired one really important new member of our fire department team, Ranger, who is out working with our firefighters, providing our firefighters in times of stress, somebody that will make them smile. Ranger is the most popular person in the Palm Springs Fire Department. And one of the big events in the fire every year is coming up on, where's the date?
June 4th. It's not there. Fish fry is returning June 4th. It's broken up.
There it is, okay.
I'll put it in the notes if you'd like.
Yeah, please put June 4th in the notes. All right. Our fish fry returns on June 4th. Come on out. It is an absolutely wonderful evening, full of fun for everyone. Our police department is a group of men and women also that we're unbelievably proud of. During the last year, we were led by 3 different individuals: retiring Chief Brian Reyes, interim Chief Melissa Demaray, and our new Chief, Andrew Mills. We really appreciate the leadership that we received from all of the chiefs that we've had in the last year. Calls for our police department, over 61,000 calls during the course of the last year. And that's just the phone calls that come in. That doesn't include all of the times that they're responding to what they see when they're out on patrol. They have seized over 80 guns in our city, guns that could have been used to perpetuate violence against our neighbors. Our new chief reached out and met with people in the community. 5 different neighborhood meetings, all of them extremely well attended, all of them people engaging with the chief, engaging with the leadership of our police department. 2 outreach sessions devoted solely to our business community. As a result of the engagements, the chief has taken and divided our city into 3 sections. The northern section that is under the direction of Lieutenant Frank Browning, and in the areas in the north, the 2 issues that were highlighted the most frequently were gun violence and traffic issues. In the central part of our city, where our downtown is, it's Lieutenant William Hutchinson who's going to be managing this part of our community, and in the downtown area is homelessness and violence that have been identified as the leading issues. In the southern part of the city, Lieutenant Mike Villegas is in charge, and in those neighborhoods, it is property crimes and homelessness that has been identified as the leading issues. Our airport is doing incredibly well. Great new work, an incredible vibe that you see every time you come into the airport. We're absolutely thrilled to be able to announce that this week, Harry Barrett has been named as the new executive director of Palm Springs International Airport. Harry has been doing a fabulous job as our interim director, and we are thrilled to have him stepping forward as the permanent executive director of our airport. Do we know if Harry's going to be present tonight? He is? Then I'll ask him to stand. We had 3 new airlines that have joined in Palm Springs this year. Flair flying to Edmonton, Vancouver, and Toronto. Swoop flying up to Edmonton, and AHA Airlines flying to Reno and Tahoe. Some of these are going to be year-round flights that are going to make it so much easier for our Canadian friends to visit us and for us to visit them. We now have a total of 13 airlines flying out of Palm Springs. And look at this map in terms of the places that you can fly to directly from Palm Springs. We are covering the United States and Canada and making it possible to get to Palm Springs directly. 14 year-round nonstop routes, 35 routes in season, handled by 13 airlines. Austin, Nashville, Las Vegas have been added. And Southwest Airlines is now in Palm Springs, flying to Denver, Oakland, Phoenix, Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, Portland, and Sacramento, and based on the flights that I've been on, every seat's taken. We now have Clear as part of the security system, and at Palm Springs Airport, it is incredibly efficient and gets you through security about as fast as anyone can get through. We set 8 new passenger records over the course of the last year. Starting this winter, we are going to renovate and expand our restrooms, new carpeting in all of the gate areas over the summer, new shops, new restaurants coming next year. Palm Springs Airport continues to be one of the most pleasurable places to arrive or to depart. Let's talk about one of the most vexing issues that faces our community, and that's addressing homelessness. I want to go back a little bit. It was in the 1960s that we made a decision in California to start closing the mental hospitals. Part of what was promised when those mental hospitals were being closed, and we all who were around then know they needed to be, was that we would be building new healthcare facilities throughout the state that would be community-based. Unfortunately, we're sitting here 60 years later, and very few of those community hospitals have been built. There was another very important U.S. Supreme Court decision that was rendered in the 1970s. And that decision was unanimous. It was the O'Connor versus Donaldson case. And what O'Connor versus Donaldson held is that no one can be forced into mental health care unless they are, in fact, dangerous to themselves or dangerous to someone else. Unfortunately, what we have seen from that seemingly very thoughtful decision is that far, far too many people with very little ability to care for themselves and to make decisions are now on our streets receiving no care until they are willing to stand up and say, I need care. That may change in California as Governor Newsom and the California State Legislature begins to look at something called Care Court that will make a fundamental difference in how we provide care to individuals who are suffering from extreme mental illness and extreme addictions to either legal or illegal drugs. Another important case was the Martin versus Boise case. That was a case that held, if we're going to enforce sit and lie ordinances, there has to be a bed in our community for everyone to be able to sleep in. You can't tell somebody they can't sleep out in the public when they do not have a publicly provided bed to turn to. One of the issues is we deal with homelessness over the last many years, and our new chief has talked about this. There are 3 causes of homelessness: lack of housing, mental health issues, and drug addiction. None of those are the responsibility of the police department. Yet for far too long, our response to homelessness has to make it a police issue, a law enforcement issue. We need to have different ways of addressing the issues of homelessness, and that's what we're going to start to do and have started to do here in Palm Springs. We opened the Access Center over on El Cielo Road, working with Martha's Village and Kitchen and Linda Barak, who we recognized this evening, and we recognized her for a reason. That facility has proven that homeless services can be a good neighbor. We've had almost no complaints from the neighbors regarding the services that are being provided at Martha's. They're professional, and people are getting help that they need in a clean, well-kept facility. In addition to that, last summer, Martha's, in cooperation with the Methodist Church on Alejo, provided an overnight shelter. 160 unduplicated clients received care during the course of that time. 89% of those folks who received care at Martha's, at the Methodist Church, are moving on to permanent housing. You can provide homeless services and make a difference if you do it the right way. We are going to have Martha's reopen at Methodist Church again this summer from June 1st through September 30th. The issue that's gotten the most attention in our city is the new Homeless Navigation Center, again to be operated by Martha's Village and Kitchen. It's on 3.6 acres of land that are ideal for being able to provide homeless services. This will be a wraparound program that will provide manufactured modular homes, 5 family units, 10 transitional age units, 12 ADA units. It is a housing first model. There will be services that will include case management, mental and dental care, employment assistance, and many, many more things. This will open in mid-2023. It will make a difference. And as Martha's has proven on El Cielo and Alejo, they will prove on McCarthy Road that they can be a very good neighbor. The sound sounds like it's being lost. All right. Yeah, let's try it this way. That seems to be better. I was losing it as I moved. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if that helps. All right. You can't solve homelessness without providing more homes. Cities funded over $10 million in new affordable housing projects. The Monarch Apartments, largely devoted to families, is going in on North Indian Canyon. The architecture is stunning and beautiful. It is going to make a difference for so many families that are going to move in to the new Monarch Apartments. At the DAP campus, we're adding 2 new home shelters that are going to be available for individuals who are HIV positive and many, many more within our community. And again, look at the architecture and know that's not a lake, it's just this a very light picture of this asphalt. And then on Stevens Road at North Palm Canyon, we have the new ALO project that's going in. 71 senior permanent housing apartments that is going to be a stunning addition to the architecture of Palm Springs.
Lisa, it's called Aloe.
Aloe?
Aloe.
Thank you. What did I say?
Aloe.
Aloe. Okay. One of the issues that I really care about, and I'm so appreciative of the support of Palm Springs City Council and our community, is because of AB 43, we were able to reduce speed limits on 16 miles of streets here in Palm Springs. We're making a difference in traffic, pedestrian, and cycling safety for all of us. We still have a lot more work to do in this area, but we are finally making progress. Let's talk about sustainability. Here in Palm Springs, we've got 136 EV charging stations. We are building many more, and we have entrepreneurs who are coming into Palm Springs to build more EV stations. Electric cars are going to be the future. They need to be the future, and Palm Springs, once again, will be on the leading edge of making it easier for individuals to move around from one place to another in an electric vehicle. Let's talk about electric energy. One of the issues facing the world is moving ourselves off of fossil fuel. But today here in the United States, we still get 69% of our electric energy from petroleum and from natural gas. Another 10% from the archaic energy source known as coal. Only 12% of the electrical energy in the United States today is produced by renewable sources. That is changing, and it needs to change more quickly. Here in Palm Springs, it has already changed dramatically, thanks to our residents, our businesses, and the option that has been created by Desert Community Energy. We have 22,800 customers receiving 100% carbon-free energy from DCE. Over 70% of the customers for electricity in our city are receiving 100% carbon-free energy. It is the equivalent of taking 25,000 cars off the road. We have created 11 megawatts of new wind energy in Palm Springs, enough to power 5,000 homes in our city. And Desert Saver, another option available through DCE, remains the lowest cost choice for anyone in Palm Springs to get electricity. CV Link is open, it's growing, it's expanding. A couple of weeks ago, we broke ground on the newest link at Demuth Park that will run across the southern part of our city. The routes that have been approved are wonderful new routes that will take us almost from the Palm Springs tram to Coachella. We've got a couple of gaps that we're working on. We have so much of CV Link that is under construction. Our new downtown park is open. It is beautiful, and it is a place that people go to celebrate, to enjoy what is so special about Palm Springs and the downtown. It is something that was the result of a tremendous amount of input from our community, and that community input has made a difference in having a park that is truly a new gem in our city. We have had great new events in the city, including the Rock the Park concert series that has brought people out on the first Wednesday evening of every month at 7 p.m. They have been fabulous concerts for anyone who's been there. Tomorrow evening, it will be Debbie Holiday playing tribute to Tina Turner. Say that really fast. I'll slow down on that one. During the summer months, we're going to have movies in the park. This year, the movies are going to be Marilyn Monroe movies. We've got many new businesses in our city, and we're so proud of new businesses coming in and stepping forward and making a difference in our community. We congratulate you and thank you for what you're doing. The much anticipated Thompson, formerly the Andaz Hotel, is under construction. Work is going on, and it is slated to open in mid-2023. It is going to be a new level of luxury in Palm Springs. The 1PS Picnic returned this year, over 1,000 people attending the event. It was just a wonderful tribute to neighbors and neighborhoods. We want to congratulate Chairman Milanovic on his election as chair of the Agua Caliente Band de Cahuilla Indians. It is an honor to be able to work with the Tribal Council of the Agua Caliente. We are proud of our partnership with the sovereign nation of the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. We thank and honor them for the work that they have done for millennia to make this such a very special place for all of us. Lastly, one of the things that we know about our city, it's the people who make the city. As we say in front of City Hall, the people are the city. I want to pay a short tribute to 3 individuals that I think highlight the kinds of people that we find every single day here in our community. The first is Patty Delgado Service, the owner, the founder of Las Consuelas Terraza, one of the wonderful restaurants in our city, a restaurant that has been in business for over 43 years, and through ups and downs has been consistent in terms of the quality and the loyalty of so many individuals to Las Consuelas Terraza. She, her son Patrick, have left us with a legacy of wonderful food and probably one too many margaritas somewhere along the way. Another individual, Cynthia Session, born and raised in Palm Springs, a leader in her neighborhood, the Desert Highland Gateway neighborhood. If you want to see somebody who knows how to run a meeting where everybody seems to be talking but she's still in charge, go up to a neighborhood meeting in the Desert Highland Gateway neighborhood and watch Cynthia in action. She has been a steadfast supporter of 1PS, a steadfast supporter of her community and her neighborhood. We are a better city because of having people like Cynthia as part of our city. Lastly, a 33-year resident of Palm Springs. He came to us from Pakistan. Aftab Dada, the general manager of the Hilton Hotel, but somebody who has put tourism on the map in Palm Springs. He has been a consistent partner of our city. He is someone who truly, when we look at those TOT numbers, those sales tax numbers, so much of it is due to the inspiration and the leadership of Aftab Dada. And I want to acknowledge Aftab today. He has had some health issues, but let's give it up. Aftab tested cancer-free last week.
Are you going to have him stand, Mayor?
I'm going to have him stand. I'm going to ask, Patty won't be here, but I'll ask.
But Cynthia is coming, so ask Cynthia to stand too.
I'm sorry?
Cynthia is coming,
Good.
So ask her to stand as well.
I will do so. And Patrick should be here. I'll ask him to stand on behalf of his mom.
I'm not sure if he's coming. I'll text him.
Let me know.
I texted him, he didn't respond.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of this program, but it is not the end of the work that we have to do to make Palm Springs continue to be a place like no place else, continue to be the very best city that any of us have ever lived in. I thank you on behalf of all of the City Council for the contributions that you've made to our city, for the love, the devotion you show to this city. Truly, the state of the city is strong and getting stronger every day.
Yay! So you'll come, I'll take all these things from you.
Actually, I'll just turn this off.
Yeah. And then we can put this, when the mayor's finished, what should we, up on here, just put it up on?
Well, I'll probably be here, so.
Oh, just hand it down to you?
Hand it down to
Okay.
me, we'll get it all out, so I'll be.
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Timed at 31 minutes, and we had some breaks in here, so that's not too bad.
That's what I was gonna say.
And having the timer there really helps. Oh, yeah,
Right on, I'm glad everything worked out. Took a while, but we got it.
good.
Okay, and then that's it. Then Mayor's PowerPoint, she closes, and then Gabe, then Brittany, the slide that would go up would be the buffer slide, because Gabe's just gonna say thank you. He's going to, well, Gabe's gonna say thank you everybody for coming. He's gonna call Shannon Miller up, and Shannon's gonna say, hey, I'm the new president of the chamber. You know, special thank you, and then they'll thank the sponsors.
Can we start the PowerPoint again? I want to make sure the font got in properly.
You wanna go from the top with ours and then see?
Yeah, we need to do, yeah, but let him reload the font, so I'm gonna make sure.
So, Francisco's gonna put flowers behind here, so it'll look real pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure JR says it's okay.
Yeah. I'll ask him.
He's still in charge of pretty.
He thinks he's in charge of pretty. Brittany, just let me know when I can.
Testing. There it goes.
Should we go to, should we not get some Tom's right next door? It's really expensive. They can just give you a credit card. What do they have, do you know? You can get it, bring it in here.
Okay. Yeah, I was just exactly, I don't have time to do lunch with the
So my purse is there, do you wanna bring it, just grab my wallet, I'll give you the chamber, whatever, what do you think they have? Bring up a minute. It's my camera, so I'm not still paying attention. Thirsty Pond. Unless there's something else you want, is there anything else close?
right now. anyone that's talking is going to be have branches in their hair.
Great to see you, Amy.
Nice to see you too. You know Lindsay? Yes.
She was walking towards the lobby when I last saw her. The box is down there.
Check, 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 check. Five seconds. Check, check, check.
Need a loud. Let me turn this one off.
receiving.
You guys just let me know when you're ready for me. Yeah. Brittany, that was an excellent choice.
Man, those are some screens. I love it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the mayor gets both. We only get one.
That's all right.
Yeah,
It's bigger than the TV in my house.
I know.
Well, I keep mine small so nobody wants to stay, including my kids. No, I think that's good. And then it keeps everybody from where they shouldn't be standing, right?
Yep.
So, I'm easy. All I need is access to a power.
So, Dave, what I thought was, we are going to, since we're here, you and I are gonna be here, we're gonna move this back. Let's move it back a little bit more.
Where would you like it?
Yeah,
That
just,
way?
no, back here, because
Okay.
all it's gonna do now is hold water for us, and that's gonna give us more room. We're gonna do a handheld because all we have to do is look at the screen now. I mean, you can have your notes. Oh, do you need to, you've got a lot more to read than I do though, so you're not gonna wanna, okay, you're gonna wanna use this.
Yeah, I'll need it. But I don't need much room. I'm fine being in the corner. I mean, if you're, it's like this.
We'll put it wherever you want it.
Well, does the mayor want to be up behind
She's got a portable one and she's gonna stand here.
the? Oh, she's a portable.
So you're the only one that's gonna use that.
Oh, no pressure. No, it's good because then I can put a couple bottles back here,
Yeah.
and we're going to see the slides here anyway, right? Of everyone that we're introducing, and then go through my spiel. Yeah, and I'll bring my notes.
Can we go through it or no?
You know what? And it's good that we do have the wireless mic as long as we keep this because that keeps them out of there. Remember how that concern yesterday?
Yeah. Francisco made it look pretty.
I didn't know we had those pictures. I guess they did it for an event.
Yeah, him and I went through it and I was like, that's what I want.
I was expecting to remember that we did. They were about 30 by 40.
Brittany, how much time do you think? Okay. We gotta go through it one more time.
Well, it's good that she's setting up anyway because we got to check the music with the. And then I won't have to come back at 4.
We can go right over that.
Yeah, with my makeup on and whatever it is I'm gonna wear.
Kelly?
I think no, she's right up in front.
I was gonna ask her if she's gonna be ready for the music.
You know what?
Okay.
Did he put the? Oh, he did put the trees here, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what his heck is.
You probably don't want it.
Yeah, I realize.
So I lost one today. So I told Shannon she's got this.
Check, check, check. Test, check.
Peach. Long sleeve peach kind of a dress. It's not sparkly, right? It's just
So Leo, is there another one? Because I have two scared right and left.
Check, check.
All right, Gabe. Let's do one walkthrough so I can go get ready from the very top, then we'll. Okay, so Kelly's gonna be playing music, and then you're off to the side, and I come on stage, and. Hmm? I'm Nona Watson. I'm the CEO of the Palm Springs Chamber, and I'm going to welcome everyone today. The first thing we... Is that me?
Here, I'll grab it.
Need a good one, Leo.
Check, 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 check. So check, 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 check.
Okay, welcome everyone to this beautiful theater. We're so excited to show off this historic venue. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to introduce two people that would like to speak about the theater. J.R. Roberts, chair of the Palm Springs Plaza Theater, and of course, former council member, and council member Jeff Coors. So they're going to come up to the stage. I'm going to hand them this mic. They're going to speak, and then they're going to roll video.
You know, Gino, I'm just my favorite anchor on the TV news. What are you up to these days?
Well, I'll tell you, JR, I'm spending most of my time now trying to help save the glorious Plaza Theater in the heart of downtown Palm Springs.
That's crazy because I'm doing that too. But how do other people get involved with that?
Well, I'll tell you what, all you gotta do is go to our website, savetheplazatheaterps.com, and donate and help us out. And we're gonna renovate this 1936 classic theater back to its original glory.
They're going to say a few words, and then they're going to step down. They're going to hand the microphone back to me. And so now it is my pleasure to introduce the chamber president, Gabe Tirado with Lulu California Bistro, and he's going to come to the stage to help me thank the sponsors.
The crowd goes wild, they do the wave.
Yeah, they went, yay! Gabe's the man, Gabe's the man. And then, you start. We're going to thank the sponsors, so you can just say, or I could say if you want, without our sponsors, we couldn't put this event on. Well, just say that, without these generous sponsors, we couldn't put the event on. So, and then as they come up on the screen. So you do the first 10, right? So we'll see where it ends.
Is that where we're starting?
Yep.
USCAP? City of Palm.
I would say, let's start with our premier sponsor, USCAP or USCAP.
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 So let's start with our premier sponsor.
Yeah.
Our presenting sponsor?
our presenting sponsor.
Okay. All right. So let's start with our presenting sponsor. Sponsor, what is it?
USCAP.
USCAP.
Or if you're uncomfortable, you could just say USCAP, but I think they say USCAP.
USCAP. Okay. City of Palm Springs, Eisenhower Health, Agua Caliente Band of Kuya Indians, Desert Care Network, Miralon, Palm Springs Sunny Cycle, Grit Development, Elevated Experiences,
And I-
El Corso.
and then maybe at El Corso